We are more than a year and a half into the pandemic. We know that, right? It's causing some nurses and some other healthcare professionals to feel burned out. No surprise, they've been through a lot, right? A study published earlier this year by healthcare jobs marketplace Vivian found that 4 in 10 nurses are considering leaving their jobs. But today we are meeting someone who will not let anything or anyone stand in the way of her dream of becoming a registered nurse. In fact, she even went into labor during her finals week, and she would not leave her simulation lab until she was done. Jasmine Dunham is a Queen's University of Charlotte nursing graduate, and she joins us live this afternoon. How you doing, Jasmine?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Take me back in time a little bit. When did you decide you wanted to be a nurse?
So I decided to be a nurse a long time ago. When I was about 7, me and my mom would always watch Birth Story on TLC. So I've always had an interest in labor and delivery, women's health. But in 2011, my brother Bryson was born with Down syndrome, and we didn't know prior to. So we had a quick transition of taking him to Levine's in the NICU. And that was one of the first times that I really realized that this is what I wanted to do, and this was the career path I wanted to take.
And boy, don't anybody be fooled. Getting your degree in this is so difficult. Registered nurses have to go through so much. Tell me a little bit about just getting to this point of graduation.
So it has definitely been a journey and a learning curve, especially with being a nursing student during this pandemic. My first semester of nursing school at Queen's, we actually went virtually in the middle of that semester. And it was very difficult learning how to take tests online, not being able to have that face-to-face interaction with our instructors, and also not being able to be in the hospital and get that experience as much as previously because of COVID. So it has definitely taken some adaptability for us, but I have learned that we are very resilient. We have just been able to increase our critical thinking and our flexibility with being nursing students during a pandemic.
Let's go back to that thing I mentioned just a second ago, Jasmine. You were in your simulation lab and you were in labor and you wouldn't even leave until you finished your lab. Tell me about that moment and what was going on in your mind at that time.
So this was at Charleston Southern University before I transferred, and we were getting ready for finals week. I had just went to the doctor and they told me I was fine, about 2 more weeks. And that morning I had a scheduled simulation lab at 12 o'clock. Probably around 9:45, 10 o'clock, my water broke, and it just surprised me because I wasn't expecting it. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, like my water just broke, but I have to finish the simulation lab now. So I just put on my scrubs. I went to the simulation lab, pants wet and everything. And told my instructors, like, hey, like, I really need to do this now. I can't wait until 12. And they looked at me like I was like a monster walking in, but they let me finish my lab and I drove back to Rock Hill when my mom picked me up from Charleston.
You are a rock star for sure. I only have about 30 seconds left, but this really is the $1 million question, because we are in a time when so many healthcare professionals are saying, that's it, I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. It's been too much. Why are you, let me at it, I want in, I'm all ready for it? What is it in you that's making you say, put me in, coach?
One of the biggest things, especially for me with women's health, is the high Black maternal mortality rates. That has been one of the things that has pushed me, especially in research and wanting to be a women's health nurse. So just being able to have a job, I'm in Novant's nurse residency, that gives me that year-long of coaching and mentoring instead of just throwing me out into the job. And that is what I really look forward to, is learning and being able to get more credentials and experience and be able to be a nurse during this time where everyone is leaving, and be able to work in my specialty and help those, especially Black women that need it.
It's a great program, a great partnership, and you, like I said, are a rock star. Your family must be so proud of you. Well done.
Thank you.
Keep us posted on your journey, okay?
Thank you. I will.
All right. Best of luck to you, Jasmine. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
She's such an inspiration.
Ooh, she's a boss.
Talk about dogged determination.
I know.
Jasmine.
Stay in there, baby.